Hi everybody. So in this video, we're going to take a look at FRQ Prep number 2 in Unit 2. This comes from AP Micro question number 2 in 2012. Teresa consumes both bagels and toy cars, which is a weird combination, but whatever, Teresa. It shows marginal utility from bagels and from toy cars. And then it says, what's her total utility from buying 3 toy cars? And I am going to end up writing some of these down here, so hopefully you can kind of follow along in your own paper. So for this first one, for A, all we have to do is just sum up, well, how much is 10 plus 8 plus 6? So 10 plus 8 is 18, plus another 6 is 24. Now, I know this is weird that I'm writing all of those out, but I'm going to strongly encourage that you do that. Because if you just wrote 24 and it was wrong, well, you'd get the problem wrong. Or like, let's say you wrote, 26, you had a brain fart. 10 plus 8 plus 6, if you had written 10 plus 8 plus 6 and then you wrote equals 26, you'd still get the point. But you can't write, you can't write just the final answer and have it be wrong. But if you write the calculation and it's wrong, that's okay. If that final answer is wrong anyways. So just a tip. Oh, that's A1 and actually A2. What Teresa's weekly income is 11. The price of a bagel is 2. The price of a car is 1. It's a little hard to see. Sorry, let me hit the zoom focus. What quantity of bagels and toy cars will maximize her utility if she spends? Use marginal analysis. So you have to explain this, which means you have to make some reference to some numbers. So what we know has to be true is mu over p has to equal mu over p. Now, our budget is 11, but what we're going to do is just figure out the mu over p for both of these goods. Now, it tells us the price of a bagel is $2 and that the price of a toy car is 1. So we know that the marginal utility per dollar spent on toy cars is going to actually just be 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, and 2. It's this number divided by the price. Now over here, it's the 8 divided by 2. So that's 4, 3.5, 3, 2.5, 2, and 1.5. And now what we're going to do is use our 2 fingers and point to numbers that are pairs. So we have a pair here of 4 and 4, and let's test that, right? Let's test that. How much would that cost? Well, 4 times $1 is $4. 1 times $2 is 2. And so 2 plus 4 is 6, and our budget is 11. So that's not the correct answer. Even though the mu over p's are equal, we have to use our whole income. So now let's test the next one. 3.5, there isn't a 3.5. There is 3, so let's test 3's. Okay, and so 3 bagels is $6, and 5 toy cars is $5. And that is our entire budget. And so our correct answer is 3 bagels and 5 toys, because we could say 3 equals 3. Right, and if you basically wrote this out and you said 3 equals 3, then you've explained using marginal analysis in that sense. Part B, totally different question. So sometimes you're going to get questions where it'll like go along and then stop and basically give you totally new stuff. Assume the price of wheat, an input for the production of bagels, increases. Okay. Will Teresa's demand for bagels increase, decrease, or not change? Now think back to the 5 shifters, right? You had merit, market size, expectations about future prices, related goods, income, and tastes. The input costs are not one of those. Input costs are one of the shifters of supply. And so students often struggle with this question. They'll say, well, it will do blah, blah, blah. Demand doesn't change, no change. And the explanation can be because input costs shift supply. Tricky, tricky, AP. C. So just as an example on a test, right, that could be flipped around. It could be a different, it could be, what about the supply of bagels and thinking about a demand shifter for it. So you gotta be aware, right? Keep you on your toes. Suppose that Teresa's income elasticity for bagels is, I think that's supposed to be negative 0.2. So let's just say negative 0.2. Does the value indicate that normal, inferior, substitutes, or complements? So first thing to know is income elasticity, right? Income elasticity only tells you normal and inferior. It doesn't tell you substitutes and complements. That's cross-price elasticity. So that gets us down to a 50-50. So even if you didn't know anything about it, but you could look it up and you could say, well, if your income rises, right, that's the new, sorry, so this is percent change in quantity demanded over your percent change in income. And so this would be saying, like, if you had a positive income and you bought less of it. So that's what we call an inferior good. Inferior. Part D says, suppose that when the price of toy cars goes up 10%, Teresa buys 5% fewer cars and 4% of toy blocks. Calculate cross-price elasticity for cars and blocks. Okay, so students sometimes are like, what am I got 3 numbers and I'm only needing 2, right? CPED is percent change in quantity demanded, we'll say, of good X over percent change in price of Y. Now, for this one, we only have the price change of toy cars, so we have to put that in the denominator. And we said that price of toy cars goes up 10%, positive 10%. And what happened? Well, that's toy cars, so now we're looking for the quantity of blocks, and it's 4% less of blocks. Negative 4%, so that's negative 0.4. So we have calculated, and we've indicated if it's positive or negative. What about on a test? What's that information tell us? Well, if the price goes up of one and you buy less of the other, then that means they are complements. Right. Hopefully this helps you. See you next time.